What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Dwarves. My name is Splattercat. Happy to have you here today as we hang out for a little while and break some catapults. And then if I can sneak around the backside of the rest of these orcs, I wouldn't hate that as a solution either. I don't know. We've killed a lot of orcs already. We've wiped out a lot of orcs already. And I don't really see the reason to be super thorough in our extermination of them all. Oh, that's actually on a different level, so we're going to have to be. Alright, so we got to figure out where the path is that takes us down lower. It looks like, oh, it's over in that corner right there. Like, I'm perfectly fine with getting shot with arrows if it means we can get the hell out of here. Let's just move. Oink, oink, Boindle. Oink, oink. So here we go. We've concluded that fight. I think we're headed on into like a little desert area. A Bora Bora or something like that, which is the land of the orcs.
Caves and vaults. There'll be more of them down there.
Or maybe we should concentrate on finally getting to Ogre's Death Stronghold, Boindle.
You ignore the offended look on your friend's face and set off, leaving the Orc Mountains behind you.
So there it is. We've got our level up all nice and blocked in. Let's see what we got going on here. So he's hit level 6. He can either get defense bonus, receive damage as half for a short time, or we can go damage boost, which causes 50% more damage with all attacks. I'm thinking that since this eats up 3 AP anyways, it's not going to leave him a whole lot to use for attacks, so you might as well just go for the defense bonus. It's just looking at the way that the game functions so far is that you tend to have a very limited supply of AP. And so in the situation that you find yourself popping that other one right there, unless you have full AP, you're only going to be able to get off like 1-2 attacks tops anyways with the 50% damage bonus before you're out. And so you might as well, unless, I mean, I could see respecking it once you get to level 8, because that right there makes him gain twice the AP when he kills things. So that would work a little bit better. Leader's Will is probably the one I'll go for, though. I tend to like little buffy things. Alright, so into Bora Bora we go. I wanted to fight these orcs, by the way, but the game won't let me. It's like, hey, they're following you, and you continue to evade them over and over and over again. Alright, I guess. Whatever you say. I think we need to go... There it is. That's what we're looking for.
It would seem that one of...
Yeah. It actually physically, like, won't let me fight that army. Wish that I could. I'll go around... Oh, I can't go around the city. So maybe they're following me so that there'll be a big fight here in Paznar.
You can already see the oasis a day's journey away, but in the glimmer of the midday sun, you're not sure whether it might not just be a mirage. But the twins are convinced that there is a village here, and the prospect of a roof over your heads for the night keeps you going. The nearer you get to the oasis, the more the uneasy feeling grows that something's not right. It's too quiet, and you don't see any movement. Once you enter the village, your fears are confirmed. Your enemies have already been here.
If our enemies have already been here and my allies are creeping closer and closer to me, I suppose they're fought. Damn, he's a big bastard. That's a big-ass dude. I also wasn't paying real close attention to our food supply. Probably should have bought that extra 100 food because I didn't realize they were going to add 2 more people to my party. I thought the 3 were about all we were ever going to have, and so... we got 5 people to feed now. They're going through provisions pretty quickly. Cities...
It's a trap.
If it is, then we'll soon find out.
I mean, that's fine by me. It can be a trap all at once. We got this big bastard with us over here with his crazy gorilla arms.
It's probably a trap. We should...
Welcome to Paznar. I'm sure the citizens would greet you themselves, if they could.
You recognize the elf immediately. You saw him with the leaders of the orcs, and he appeared to you in a dream after Greenglade. Or no, not in a dream.
Sinthras.
So we meet again, Tungdil. What do you think of my work in the vaults? It was a nice start, wasn't it?
An eerie smile sets on Sintharas's lips.
Wonderful. I can see the hatred in your eyes. Come on. Come and get your revenge.
I think I'm good. I'm going to drop her for this one, and we'll see what Big Dude has going on. See what he does. He's got 5,000 HP. That's not terrible at all. That guy's actually pretty stacked. Let's see what's up. Oh, he's actually, like, coming at us, huh? Alright.
Yes?
Well, I'll put Tungdil over there.
Yes?
What do you have? You have pretty much the same attacks that everybody else has. Okay. Scare opens his visor. High chance of throwing enemies conically in front of him into a panic. Okay. Alright, you go over, well, let's all just hang here for a minute and see what happens. My suggestion would be to put Bowendahl against him since he's the most robust. Yeah, there it is. Get a big hit off. On this side, I would suggest possibly hurting as many things as you can.
Yes? Please wait a moment.
Oh, he doesn't have any AP left. Alright.
With pleasure.
As far as this guy's concerned, technically it's possible to get him with a big cleave and then finish him off while they're down. Probably put that one right there. And actually, my next inclination would be to start clearing flanks over here. Like, if he can kill stuff, I do think that our dear friend is going to need help. Tungdil, that is. There we go. A little bit more damage to him. Tungdil. There you go. Get some kills off. As far as big guys concerned, we got archers firing over there. Oh, that was not good.
Retreat! Back! Why are you fighting against us? You're the son of Samusin. You should have nothing to do with this unworthy scum.
I've had enough of fighting. It's about time we head to your home.
I've had enough too. But we've got several days in the desert ahead of us before we can enjoy a cold beer.
The longer we talk about it, the later we'll get to our beer. Let's go.
So do dwarves think about anything other than beer at any given point? Because they talk about beer a lot. Oh yeah, let's see. I mean, given our supplies, I hope there's a place we can resupply down in here, because if not, we may face a little bit of starvation before life gets a little bit better.
You've been traveling through the desert for days. The sand is simply everywhere. In your shoes, under your clothes, in your mouths. Even the makeshift cloths that you've wrapped around your heads is of little help. With the last of the energy you can muster, you finally leave the 40-mile-wide sandbar that separated you from Ogre's Death. It is as if you've passed through an invisible wall when the raging wind and sand suddenly falls silent. In front of you, an enormous massif towers into the sky, the Blue Range. The slopes cast long shadows over Ogre's Death Fortress, which nestles in the spurs of the mountain. Even from this distance it looks impressive, with its 4 defensive terraces, one above the other. The anticipation of entering a real dwarven city for the first time grows with every step, and you feel the power returning to your limbs. You've almost done it.
My High King, you have called me to succeed you to the throne. Here I stand before you.
Well, before you are chosen as the successor to the High King, here, King Gandagar, the challenges that await you. Hordes of orcs are rampaging through the north and the west, and the perished land is stirring. It would seem that the Magi cannot sustain the barriers.
This gives us an excellent opportunity to attack the last elves in Alandor. They are weakened. The perished land afflicts them. Let us wipe out the traitors once and for all.
Yes, right. Exactly.
Hear, hear.
Madness. What are you talking about?
I do not recognize you, King Gandagar, in what you are saying. The elves are inhabitants of Girdlegard. Has your hatred for them clouded your senses to the point that you wish to ignore the words of our god?
Belendelin's gaze falls, as if incidentally, on the King of the Fourthlings' advisor.
Or is someone giving you bad advice?
On the contrary, it was Bislipper who finally supplied me with the proof. A report titled How the Fiflings Lost the Gate. It was the elves that poisoned the brave Fifling warriors in their stronghold. A devious disease spread by the pointy ears in the shafts of the Grey Range.
Impossible! I always knew it!
Treason! I don't believe
They should
that.
pay for it!
the pointy ears!
Enough! Don't be so short-sighted! We are talking about the safety of Girdlegard. We must reach out and forge a large coalition with the elves. Yes, and even with the Thirdlings, if we are to defeat the perished land.
My High King! You cannot be serious!
Drivel from a dwarf who has grown too old in his post. Are we not here to choose a new High King? We have waited long enough.
It would seem you will have to wait a little bit longer. The second aspirant has arrived. Our guests must be tired from their long journey. The meeting is adjourned till tomorrow.
But why do you think that I...
Everything will become clear. I've had a room prepared for you. Before you take to your bed, please pay the High King and I a visit in the throne room.
Apparently, we're in pretty good shape to be the next king. Sounds awesome. We met to fight a guy. He looked kind of tough, though. He had gemstones on his armor. That makes me think that there's definitely like some enchantments and some pluses on his stat sheet that we got to watch out for. What are the twins up to?
Ah, your highness!
Heir apparent? What do you know? Spit it out.
A slight expression of guilt flits briefly across Boindill's face, but he's soon back to his old self.
A scholar as High King has something to it. You'll certainly have our votes, that's for sure.
Boindall nods in agreement.
As High King, you could unite the kingdoms and get them to do battle against Nod-On.
You look at your friends and aren't really sure whether they are trying to pull your leg or not.
I can't be High King. I got all my knowledge from books and you're pulling my leg, right?
The twins' grins grow ever wider, and it would seem they can hardly contain themselves.
Just talk to High King Gundrabur and Belendalin. They will explain everything.
High King Gundrabur seems... well...
Old? He is ancient, even by Dwarvish standards. He has been old for as long as I can remember.
Belendalin has taken care of most matters for dozens of cycles. But Gundrabur always has the final word. His mind is younger than all of ours, I tell ya.
Belendalin should become High King. I was there when a runt took his arm. He still managed to kill half a dozen of them afterwards. What fighting spirit! We had to drag him off the battlefield.
The law requires that a firstling or a fourthling must be chosen as the new king of all dwarves. And, as the firstlings didn't turn up...
For the first time, you have the chance to appreciate the beauty of the place. You suddenly forget what you wanted to say.
I've never seen such masterful masonry. To be honest, I didn't even know that stone could be worked in such a way.
Ha ha ha! The secondlings are the best masons of all the kingdoms. That's how Vracus made us. Well, he made some of us into warriors, too.
Boandal glances at his brother, and he laughs with satisfaction while looking around the hall himself.
I think I'll continue to look around.
Don't get lost. And tonight, we will finally drink a lovely dark ale in the glowing anvil.
Alright, well at least that conversation's out of the way. I'm not entirely sure if I'm actually meant to be king at this point. We should probably go track down the king and see what's up, though. That's like a high chamber thing. Oh, they've got it blocked off, so that's the only place I can go. To the high chamber!
Andakai, what is it?
I came to return these books to you, Tungdil. Luckily, I was able to make sense of most of it.
You observed how the Mager took time to study the books during your escape.
They are records from the Outer Lands. They tell of demonic beings from Barren Ground who can take possession of humans and invest them with great power.
Immortality, for example?
The Mager nods seriously.
They speak of an axe forged by the Undergrounders called Keenfire. It is said to have the power to cut through the flesh and bone of the living and completely destroy the demonic spirit deep within their soul.
So you think a demon from the Outer Lands has taken possession of Nudin?
He looked very different when I encountered him in Parista, and he rose from the dead even though you cut off his head. That can't be explained purely through the power of the perished land.
And he wanted to prevent these books from falling into our hands. That would only make sense if Keenfire had the power to defeat him. Do you know these Undergrounders?
I have never heard of the Undergrounders, but I've been to the Outer Lands before.
It must be terrible. The hordes of Tion have marched from there against our strongholds for thousands of years.
It's not as bad as you think. It is certainly safer than a land in which a magus possessed by a demon is on the loose.
Where is this Keenfire?
I don't know if this weapon was ever forged. It requires rare materials and masterful craftsmanship. The purest, hardest steel, stone barbs decorated with runes, a hilt of sigadaisy wood, inlays made of all the noble metals, the blades studded with diamonds, smithed in the hottest forge.
We are dwarves. We have the most talented craftsmen.
And you have the sigadaisy wood. It is amongst the objects in your rucksack, which is fortunate as there are no more sigadaisies in Girdlegard. But even if you manage to forge the axe, it might all be just a fairy tale. It's too little to wager our lives on.
We can get all the missing materials, as well as a gem cutter, here in the stronghold. After all, Gandagar and his fourthlings are here. A stonemason from the secondlings, and I can smith.
The Mager looks at you thoughtfully, and for a short time it seems as though your enthusiasm is rubbing off on her. But then she says,
I wish you good luck, Tungdil.
You still want to leave Girdlegard, but what will happen to your realm and all the other realms?
I admire your optimism, my friend, but it isn't wise to stand in the way of a rolling stone. I don't wish to give up my realm, but I would only be prolonging the suffering unnecessarily.
But
you don't want to let the last Mager in Girdlegard go. Unfortunately, you can't think of anything that could cause her to stay.
Many thanks, Honourable Mager, for all that you have done.
Oh, she like bailed. Okay, well I only got to use the big guy in the armor for like one session. Oh, she got books over here?
A variety of cheeses, pickled cave mushrooms, toasted vault moss, and some smoked sausage.
The intense smell of the cheese makes your mouth begin to water. You are exhausted from your adventurous journey, but it would be impolite to just go to bed if the High King is waiting for you.
Sigurdaisy wood. Very rare. I guess Lot Yonan wanted it to examine or experiment with.
So that's it then. We've just been carrying around like a block of wood with us this entire time. That's fine. I'm not upset about it. I accept this. If it's all part of the plan to make this keen razor or whatever the hell it's called. If that's what gets rid of this elvish dude that's been following us around for like the entire time, then I'm okay with it. So we gotta go to the High King's office. Where is he at? High King? Oh, it's the throne room. Okay. I suppose he probably didn't want to address us before we went in there.
Tungdil, come closer.
The power that the old High King radiated when he called the assembly to order has drained away from him. His body is sunken in the throne, but his eyes are alert and interested as he looks at you.
The lost son returns to his people. Thank Vracus. Tell us what you learned on your journey.
You describe your adventure down to the smallest detail. Neither the king nor his advisor interrupts you. From time to time they nod, as though they were already aware of certain facts. Their brows become more furrowed with every passing minute. When you are finished with your story, you also have some questions.
I don't want to appear ungrateful, and I'm happy to finally be among my people, but I will not ascend the throne. I hardly know anything about our customs and laws. Everything that I know, I have learned from books that Lot Yonan gave me. There must be more suitable heirs than me.
Your renouncement honors you. But to be honest, you never had a claim. To stop Gandagar, we had to stall for time.
Lot Yonan helped us with our little story. We don't even know if you are a fourthling.
The king's advisor misinterprets your unbelieving gaze and quickly adds,
We're only being as deceitful as goblins for one solitary reason: to stave off possible harm to our people.
You feel as though you've been hit in the stomach. If this is true, not only have you lost your newly found kingdom, but Master Lot Yonan also didn't see it as necessary to inaugurate you in the conspiracy.
What game is being played here?
Gandagar, as king of the fourthlings, is to supersede me as High King, but his mind is poisoned with hatred towards the elves. He would probably win a war against them, but he would weaken us, and Girdlegard would not be helped by this. I was hoping for a great coalition with the elves, and even with the thirdlings. I would have given anything to start the negotiations. In times of great need, only the common goal can count.
And which role have you planned for me?
Well, with you as a second aspirant, certain possibilities of protocol open up to us.
Your plan has a flaw. Even if I were to line up, I couldn't win. No one on the council will vote for me.
You don't have to win.
Belendolin points to the Steelies in the throne room.
It's written in our laws that the High King can oppose an heir if he isn't elected unanimously. He can then demand a duel or a contest in order to determine the winner.
Such a contest could take weeks, if not months, and it would win us some time.
What kind of contest would you have us compete in? Gandagar is surely superior to me in many things.
Everyone in the council will write a task on a piece of paper, and from them the contest will be drawn.
And this only once you have made a speech, and have won over as many as possible in the council to your side. The more sympathetic the council is towards you, the higher the chances of a contest that fits your abilities.
Speech? You're beginning to like this whole thing less and less.
Is this really the best for our people? If you cannot dissuade Gandagar from carrying out his plans, it could end in a fraternal war.
Don't worry. We'll open up his eyes and he will recognize the malice of his feigned friend. We just need time, and you must gain it for us.
All right then. I'm ready to do it. But I will need all of your support.
You can be certain of it, Tungdil.
Belendalin smiles at you encouragingly.
You say Andakai may have found a way to defeat Nodon, and she suspects that the Magus is possessed by a demon from the Outer Lands. It may be possible to kill this demon with an axe called Keenfire. I have commissioned armor that is worthy of a prince. It will be delivered to your chamber by sunrise.
You say goodbye with a queasy feeling in your stomach. You always thought that you were articulate, but the prospect of having to make a speech in front of the large council doesn't exactly fill you with elation.
Alright, so there it is. My name is Splattercat. Thank you for joining me here at the Nerdcastle for the next episode of the Dwarves, where we are apparently going to oppose the Crown Prince, or whoever it is that's going to become king after this old guy, in the hopes that we can stall him long enough to get our quest to get Keenfire done. I will see you all when next we meet. Hi-do, everybody.